Hello, hello. This is Jeff Hansen coming to you today from Santa Cruz, California.
And this is Arvin Predis coming to you live from Los Angeles.
Arvin, I am glad that you're live. I would be concerned if you were not live today. I am also live, I should point out. But if I'm not live, I will let you know. Today's topic, Arvin,
Give it to me.
is all cash offers.
All cash offers.
And all cash offers is in my mind because just about 2 hours ago, I got the news that a client's offer was accepted, competing with two other offers, and it was an all cash offer. So we tend to think of all cash like just all the way around, and both from a buyer's agent, listing agent, just easy peasy, right? But there's some things that people kind of, I think, mistake about it. So I'll start with one, and then you can follow up. How's that?
Okay.
So from a buyer's agent perspective, it's sometimes easy for buyers to fall into the opinion that, hey, we're writing all cash, they're going to accept our offer no matter what, like they're just lucky to have our offer. And so it takes some education with clients to make them aware that that may not be the case. Usually it's not the case. I mean, all cash is typically more attractive because you don't need an appraisal, they can close quickly. But at the end of the day, it's the same money to the seller, right? So most sellers are not going to give up 5, 10, 20, $100,000 just because it's a little more likely to close, right?
Yeah.
And so that was the case here. So we won out, and it was helped certainly because it's all cash and we can close relatively quickly, but still had to be a super clean offer. I found the listing agent was able to share with. I asked her what we need to do to kind of compete with the other. This is a market where some things are sitting a long time, some sell quickly. It's a little out of my area, but and we came in just a little bit above the asking price and I think a little bit above the other offer, but it turned out that they accepted ours and didn't give the other people a chance to counter because we wrote an offer that's hard to say no to. But we didn't get a steal because it's all cash. We just got the deal. That's the way I look at it. You're more likely to get the property, but you're not going to get a steal just because you're paying all cash. What are your thoughts?
I think that when I've talked to sellers in the past and we're looking at multiple offers, the trend is that cash offers come in significantly lower than those that are getting a loan because they think they have the gold, they have the power, they have the control, and they think that they're just automatically going to be the standout offer when they're still going to take maybe a week to close, and versus waiting another $50,000 for waiting another 3 weeks for a loan. But yeah, as far as cash offers, some of them might still be doing inspections. Things might still come up, and they still might back out. So even though a lot of buyers feel like they're just very solid if they're a cash buyer. When we're counseling our sellers, we do point out the things that they got to watch out for when they're considering a cash offer.
Totally. And I tell sellers, in my 29 years, I've only had one listing where a buyer removed contingencies and didn't close escrow, and it was an all cash offer. It turned out they didn't have access to all the cash. Now, this is before it was common to have a complete proof of funds, so they're actually refining and get the cash, but still. And the other thing I've experienced is sometimes people that are paying all cash, like if they have a sizable amount of money, let's say, sometimes they're the people that just don't care as much. They're willing to
Yeah.
just, you know what, I'll fight for the deposit. I don't care, right? Or you might have other issues, or they just feel like they can push people around sometimes. So it's not always as clean and simple as you would think, right?
Yeah. If you're a buyer and you just sold your place and now you're going to pay for your next place with the proceeds from your last place, then that's totally different than someone that just has a bunch of cash and buying a home is just so optional.
Or an investor.
That's what I mean. It's someone that has a bunch of cash laying around. They're just kind of buying properties just to invest in, just for fun. Like it's just everything is so optional. They can move on to something else if this doesn't work out, right? They're
Right.
not like, so hard pressed to get things done and to be accommodating. And I mean, sometimes, but not all the time.
Yeah. And they might be in a position where they're okay with losing their deposit. It's just
Yeah,
3%. I'm okay walking away from it if the market turns or if I discover something I don't like about the neighborhood.
totally.
So, and actually, the case where it was all cash and they backed out, we ended up getting their deposit and they still sold it for money, more money, so they were okay. But most cases, you don't want to deal with having a buyer back out and have to put it back on the market, right?
Right.
And I've had the same experience as you that with listings, lots of times when you see an all cash offer, almost usually it's just a bad offer. It's just really low. And the agent just kind of throws it together and says, "Oh, by the way, we're all cash." Like, okay, I know that, but you're aware it's the same dollars to the client. You just mentioned something earlier that you've maybe heard from me years ago about who has the gold. You know what the golden rule is, Arvin? You've heard the golden rule, right?
I've heard of the golden rule.
So I heard this from my first mentor in real estate, and he asked, "Do you know the golden rule?" And I'm, "Yeah, do unto others, you let them do unto you." He said, "Yeah, the other golden rule: whoever has the gold makes the rules." That's what he told me. So who has the gold? The seller thinks they have the gold because they have the property.
Hmm.
The buyer thinks they have the gold because they have the money. So who's right? They're both right. And it's a little market driven too. Who has the gold? If it's a buyer's or seller's market, I mean, you have to remind them that the other person has some gold too, right? They own the property that you want, or they have the cash for the house that you want to sell.
Right. Yeah, when the market started going up, it shifted in 2012, 2013, like those years. There were a lot of cash buyers in the market. And but the thing is, there were a lot of people that were worried. They were saying, "Oh my gosh, now we got to compete against all these cash offers, all these cash buyers, all these investors and everything." And there was this stigma that cash buyers were buying everything, but the statistics were they were kind of, I mean, still kind of high, but they were, I think I remember hearing back then it was 1 out of 5. 1 out of 5 transactions were cash buyers. So that's 4 out of 5 people that are just normal people that are getting some type of loan, or that don't have just a ton of cash in the bank to not use a loan.
Totally. That brings up another point, which is sometimes when you're working with buyers, they have that feeling that, oh, how can I compete with these people? So it's worth
Mm-hmm.
reminding them that, hey, some of the cash buyers, they just make these low ball offers. Yeah, if they offer
Yeah.
more than you and offer cash, they're probably going to get it. That's true.
Yeah.
But usually they don't
Mm-hmm.
offer more than you, which is a mistake of those buyers sometimes if they really want a house. If they don't want it, then who cares? But if they really want it, they might lose out by writing a low offer. I had a client last year. Actually, this is one that we worked on together that was doing 10% down at 1.4 million roughly in that range, 1.35, 1.4, and competed with, I forget, 7 other people or 9, a bunch of other buyers, and only doing 10% down with no contingency, so no appraisal contingency. And they got it. But so it's not always that the bigger down wins. You have to do other things correct to make it happen. But definitely people shouldn't be, either agents or principals, buyers or sellers, should not be under the impression that an all cash offer is always going to win. Definitely not the case.
Yeah, you almost have to ask even more questions with those people. You have to talk to the agent a little more, ask them, kind of what their intentions are. I mean, you do that anyways, but whenever there's a cash buyer that's making an offer, I think it comes with some extra skepticism.
Right. Is the
Yeah.
money coming from overseas? Is it
Mm-hmm.
really liquid? Is it in the stock market? What if stocks go down next week and they're going to lose a bunch of money? Cash offers. It seems like you would think it'd be simple. Oh, cash offers, everything's great. It's easy. Not so fast. Not so
Right.
fast. That's my
Yep.
mantra.
I like it. I like it.
So it's great to get a cash offer on a property if it's a great price. Great to represent a buyer with a cash offer if you write a good offer. It's really just great to have a strong client regardless that is ready, willing, and able. So have a wonderful day. Happy selling. Arvin, last thoughts?
Yeah, I think I've been seeing and everybody's been talking like there's just a lot of changes, or even like talks of changes that are kind of on the way with the economy and just global problems and issues, and that might stop some of the agents from taking action. They might just have this doom and gloom attitude, like nothing, the transactions aren't going to be happening, but people are going to be downsizing, they're going to be relocating, they're going to be needing bigger space for their family. So just keep going out there and keep prospecting.
You know, and the idea that the market's changing and evolving has been true every one of my 29 years. And the other thing is there's lots of opportunity. So I remember people telling me, "Oh, we're missing out on like when the market was just great." Of course, this is like in 2004, 2005. In that market, though, there were too many agents. Everybody got into real estate. So the opportunity in a shifted market is that there are less agents. Agents are less proactive. Maybe if they're part-time, they get out of the business. So always opportunity today and every day. Have a fabulous day, everybody.